All right, we might as well get started here. Council now calls to order a hearing on the conditional use application filed by Payon Brothers Horsham LLC for several parcels in the vicinity of Norristown Road in the village of Maple Glen. The application seeks conditional use approval to permit the extension of a water line in zones 1 and 2 of the Riparian Corridor Conservation District. Notice of tonight's hearing on the application was published as required by law, and it would be appropriate at this point for Mr. Gildea Walker to enter into the record those documents related to the filing of the application and the public notice given. Mr. Walker.
So the township exhibits are T1, which is the conditional use application. T2 is the conditional use plan. T3 is the resolution number 2024-17 with Township Council establishing this hearing for this evening. T4 is the letter to the Planning Commission dated July 25th, 2024, asking for the Planning Commission to review the application. T5 is a letter to all residents within 500 feet of the property dated July 25th, 2024, informing them of the Planning Commission meeting. Exhibit T6 is the legal notice prepared by the Township Solicitor. T7 is the proof of publication of the legal notice in the newspaper. T8 is the Montgomery County Planning Commission review letter dated August 20th, 2024. Exhibit T-9 is the Gilmore review letter dated August 22nd, 2024, and revised September 3rd, 2024. T10 is also a Gilmore review letter dated August 22nd to the Water and Sewer Authority. T-11 is the Horsham Township Planning Commission meeting minutes of September 3rd, 2024, where they reviewed the application. And those are the township exhibits.
Thank you, Mr. Gildea Walker. I note that Kristen Pianzio is present this evening on behalf of the applicant. Ms. Pianzio, would you like to present your case?
Yes, I would. And if it's okay, I'd like to do an offer of proof since we've been here before, and I think I can summarize the testimony of Mr. Jordan. He can adopt it if that's okay with you, Mr. President. Okay, thank you. My name is Kristen Pianzio from Hamburg, Rubin, Mullen, Maxwell, and Lupin. I'm representing the applicant this evening. The board is familiar with the property, which is the subject of this conditional use application. This is the 53-unit townhome development on Norristown Road on approximately 16 acres. We have preliminary and final subdivision and land development approval from council. As you know, we were here for a conditional use earlier in the year for a crossing for a recreational trail and a sewer line where I'm indicating on the screen above. This came through this way for the sewer. The trail went down towards the CVS property. Since getting approval, discussions were had with Horsham Water and Sewer Authority, and they requested that we do what they call loop the water system. Originally, the water was to come in off of Norristown and then go back onto Norristown. They requested that we bring the water line through the same area and out to Limekiln Pike in order to better provide for fire safety and suppression within this area. Through our conversations, we agreed to do that, so we are back here with another conditional use. It's basically a repeat of what you've seen before. The disturbance area is in the same area, so we're following the trail and the sewer line through the riparian corridor. What I'm showing you on the plan is where the zone 1 and 2 begin and end, so that's really the subject of this application. It marries the trail and the sewer line, but then veers down with the path down to the CVS property. We were in front of the Planning Commission last week. We come here with their full recommendation. Montgomery County Planning Commission also wrote a letter of recommendation. We have the Gilmore review, which says you have to update your DEP permit. Yes, we do. We're going to do that as a subject or a condition of this approval. And any comments in the letter addressed to Horsham Water and Sewer Authority will comply. It's just a couple cleanup items. So, Mr. Jordan, let's have you sworn in real quick.
Just state and spell your full name, please.
Robert Jordan?
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
Bob, may I call you Bob?
Yes.
Have you been present since the onset of this hearing?
Yes.
And you are a property manager with Woodrow and Associates, correct?
Correct.
And you're familiar with this property?
Yes.
Your office prepared the plans that were the subject of the preliminary and final land development, as well as both conditional use applications. Is that true?
Yes.
You were present with me at the Planning Commission, right?
Yes.
And you're familiar with the zoning ordinance of Horsham Township, in particular, the requirements for the conditional use that we are requesting this evening?
Yes.
Do you think that I have accurately summarized the application as we presented it, meaning that the water line traverses Zone 1 and 2 by conditional use?
Yes.
Did I adequately describe the impact on the property?
Yes.
And is there anything that you would like to add or amend or correct relative to my summary of your testimony?
No.
Okay, that's all I have. We would just like to move all the exhibits onto the record, and we ask that the board look favorably on our application.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Pianzio?
No questions, but the staff would also just like counsel, as Ms. Pianzio described, the original plan was to come just off Norristown Road. We were involved with the Water and Sewer Authority on this plan, which is, we feel, is it's a safety issue. As she explained, you have 53 units?
53.
53 units going in that will all be sprinkled, have sprinklers in them. If they went with Plan A off Norristown Road and only have one source of water, if something happened to that water line, we would have 53 homes that the sprinklers wouldn't work in an emergency. So this, what she said, this looping will not only provide protection to these 53 units and people living in them in case of a fire, it'll also improve the circulation of our system, water system. It will not increase the pressure. This is a low-pressure area of our township with public water, but it will not increase the pressure. But we feel, the staff feels, that we needed to speak up and ask for you to consider approving this for the safety of these families and people that will be moving into these homes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker.
Bill, public comment is there, so it's on the record.
What?
Public comment.
Okay. Is there any public comment? All right. Okay, so this hearing is now closed. Council will render a decision within 45 days of tonight's hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to see everyone.
We'll take a break till 8 o'clock. All right, everyone, we'll call the meeting to order. Shall we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start, I'd like to announce that we did have a brief executive session before the meeting to discuss a matter of litigation. First item tonight is, we should take a moment of silence to remember the 2,983 people killed in the September 11, 2001 attacks. All right, the first thing on the agenda tonight then is to recognize some retirements. Our first one is Cindy Rocco, our deputy tax collector, who had 25 years of service at Horsham Township. Cindy couldn't be with us tonight, but I can tell you it was a pleasure knowing and working with Cindy all the years that I've been here, and she is going to be missed. Bill?
Yeah, she let herself be known. Cindy started with us 29 years ago as the township receptionist. And from there, she moved on to the Parks and Recreation Secretary, when at that time we had a Parks and Rec department. And she became very heavily involved with the Parks and Rec. I know some people out here, including Nick and Ed, who have been here almost as long, know Cindy and were involved with Cindy. But when she was our Parks and Rec secretary, put many hours in extra, never asking for overtime, never asking for comp time, but she just wanted to make sure every program and every event that we did was a success. So put in a lot of extra hours. When we had major snow events, it usually was 3 of us in the building: Mike McGee, myself, and Cindy. And she came in. She goes, she got herself in, and she said, I knew I had to help answer phones and calls. So, and then from there, she moved on to the deputy tax collector, who is the main person that collects the real estate tax bills. So she built a rapport with all of our people that walk in with tax collection. But she was a really great employee. She's not here this evening because she doesn't like the limelight. She worked for us for 29 years. I think we have 2 photos of her, and one being her ID. So she never got in pictures. She never wanted that. She's just not that type of person. So, but we will miss Cindy. She did a great job for us for almost 30 years. Many of the residents knew her, especially since she did Parks and Rec. And when she did it, a lot of those kids at that time grew to be adults. And then the adults grew to be grandparents. So Cindy knew a lot of our residents, and she just involved herself as an employee. She just involved herself to know, to know information, to help residents out, even if it wasn't in her area. If it was a public works question, library question, general question, she wanted to be able to help people as they came into the building, help them on the phone. So her last day with us was last Friday, so we wish her very well. I already got a picture on Monday morning of her by her pool, enjoying retirement. So, but we will miss Cindy and thank her immensely for all that she did for us over her 29 years here at the township.
All right, I'll have a proclamation that we'll read for Cindy, and then we'll get it to her. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Cindy Rocco for her 29 years of devotion and service to our community on the occasion of her retirement. And whereas Cindy Rocco began her career with Horsham Township as a Park and Recreation Administrative Clerk in 1995 before moving into the Deputy Tax Collector position in 2015. During her time in the Parks and Recreation Department, Cindy committed countless hours towards township events and was determined that each event was a success and enjoyed by countless township residents and visitors. In her most recent role as Deputy Tax Collector, her same characteristics showed how dedicated she was, often staying after hours, coming in on weekends to ensure that her work was complete by the allocated deadlines. Cindy has been an example of consistent dedication and service to the people of Horsham Township. And whereas her service brings great credit to herself and Horsham Township, Cindy has forever left a favorable impression on those who have had the pleasure of working with her and also on the township which she has served so well. And whereas we thank Cindy Rocco for her reliability to the organization and applaud her for her dedicated service to our community. On the occasion of her retirement, we extend to Cindy Rocco our best wishes for success in all her future endeavors. So we will get this to Cindy.
Meeting House Road and Moreland Avenue. It was someone's location for 26 years, Nick Zolo. Nick was the crossing guard, and hundreds or thousands of people, knew Nick. Nick was there, and he built a relationship with those kids. And every day he built a relationship even with people driving. So after all these years, he has done a fabulous job for us. He not only was he a crossing guard for a short stint, he was also an attendant back in our community center too. So he would work at our community center doing rentals and stuff, and he'd help out at different areas too when crossing guards were needed, Horsham Days and other events. He volunteered his time, I believe, when we were running Park and Rec, different things. He helped out with Park and Rec programs with Cindy, and he is just we already see comments on social media about people missing Nick at the location. So he made his presence known, and he just has that personality. He's just a very pleasant, wonderful individual and a wonderful employee that we're going to sincerely miss here at Horsham. I know the children and the people that he established those relationships will miss him even more at the intersection, seeing him there and saying hello to him. But he's probably crossed over 26 years, hundreds, if not thousands, of our children safely across the intersection to get to Keith Valley Middle School. And we wanted to take this evening to thank him for his service and his commitment and his dedication, not only to that intersection and those children, but to our community. So we wish him a very happy retirement and thank him for his service.
I just want to say thank you. I can attest to everything that Bill has said because you were my crossing guard when I was going to Keith Valley. And you literally put your life on the line and your body on the line every day. I remember if a car was creeping forward or something like that while you were out there or while you were walking out, you went to that car and you told them the responsibility that you took for all the children's lives is something I hope everyone brings to their work every day. So I appreciate the way you serve the community, the way that you kept kids like me safe, and I hope you enjoy retirement, and thank you for everything you've done.
Nick, on behalf of Horsham Township, we wish you a very happy retirement, and I have a proclamation I'd like to read. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Nick Zollo for his 26 years of devotion and service to our community on the occasion of his retirement. And whereas Nick Zollo began his career with the Horsham Township Police Department as a crossing guard in 1998, and he has been an example of consistent dedication and service to the people of Horsham Township. During his time as a crossing guard, Nick has made his top priority ensuring our children get to school safely. Nick also retired as an E7 from the Air Force National Guard. And whereas his service brings great credit to himself and Horsham Township, Nick has forever left a favorable impression on those who have had the pleasure of working with him and also on the township he has served so well. And whereas we thank Nick Zollo for his reliability to the organization and applaud him for his dedicated service to our community. On the occasion of his retirement, we extend to Nick Zollo our best wishes for success in all his future endeavors. Congratulations.
If you say something, you have to come up to the mic over here for the recording. So
Nicole looks nervous.
that mic
Right there? Yeah.
Yep.
It was my pleasure to serve Horsham Township and to protect all of our children. And I'd do it again.
Don't go anywhere because we're going to do pictures when we're done with Ed. So our next one is Ed Henry. I think we just had Ed recently for his 25th anniversary recognition, and Ed and Nick both retired at the end of the last school year. But we know Ed Henry very well. Ed was the crossing guard at Bender and Moreland Avenue. He, as we know, he was involved with many other things in the township, Horsham Little League, as a coach, as an umpire, Horsham Day softball tournament for many years as an umpire, again, stepping up when we needed crossing guards and other events and other programs. You don't replace people like this. It's hard. We can, but it's a different generation. These people are a different generation, and it is going to be very hard to replace these individuals because they expanded beyond their call of duty at their intersections and through these other organizations in town that they helped with. And Ed, we are going to miss you. Ed did survive. I think some of you do know that on Ed's very last day, on his 25th year, getting ready to retire, Ed was hit by a car on Moreland Avenue. Luckily, not anything seriously, but that's the danger that these crossing guards face every day. So we are glad that you were not seriously injured that day, and that you made it, and that all the kids, he has a very difficult intersection. I think we're all familiar with it, the bend, the curve, and a lot of people just aren't expecting when they come around there. They're usually not all the time following by the posted speed limit, and when they come around the bend, they're not sometimes expecting a crossing guard out in the middle of the road crossing kids. So Ed did a great job at that crossing. So Ed, thank you. Thank you for all that you've done for the township in your 25 years. Hopefully, don't be a stranger. We need more help. We have other things that we want to get done, and we need volunteers and help. So, but thank you for all that you've done. Not just crossing guard, but everything that you've done even outside the crossing guard. But we wish you well. We wish you a happy, healthy, long retirement.
Ed, congratulations. We wish you a happy retirement. And Bill's right, you had a tough spot. I have a proclamation to read. Whereas it is with great pleasure we recognize Edward Henry for his 25 years of devotion and service to our community and on the occasion of his retirement. And whereas Edward Henry began his career with Horsham Township Police Department as a crossing guard in 1999, and he has been an example of consistent dedication and service to the people of Horsham Township. During his time as a crossing guard, Ed has made his top priority ensuring that our children get to school safely. Ed contributed countless hours to our youth sports organizations as coach, and also made sure that our children reached home in more ways than one as a Little League umpire. And whereas his service brings great credit to himself and Horsham Township, Edward has forever left a favorable impression on those who have had the pleasure of working with him and also on the township he has served so well. Whereas we thank Edward Henry for his reliability to the organization and applaud him for his dedicated service to our community. On the occasion of his retirement, we extend to Ed our best wishes for success in all of his future endeavors.
Congratulations. Always real.
Yeah, thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking? No? No microphone?
No, I'm
All
good.
right.
All right, so we'll take a break now and do pictures.
Right. One more. Looks great.
Barry. Do one more.
All right, the next item this evening then is to announce our comprehensive plan. The Comprehensive Plan Committee has been working on updating this for about 2.5 years. Mr. Gilday Walker, do you have some more comments about the purpose and why we need to update our comprehensive plan?
Sure. Our last comprehensive plan was done in 2011, and it really is a guide for the township for the next 10 to 20 years. And as Mr. Whiteside mentioned, the committee that was formed to work with the County Planning Commission, they're basically done their work now. So it is now going on to the public approval process. So we will put this out. Everyone will see things come out, but our timeline is to have the draft plan on our website September 16th. From September 16th to September 30th, we're going to have 15 days of social media outreach leading up to the Horsham Planning Commission meeting. On September 27th, we'll have printed copies available to view. We'll have one copy at the Township building here, and we'll have one copy at the Township Library that people could view in print. It is a long document, so it's almost 200 pages long. So that's why we just have 2 printed copies. The Horsham Planning Commission will have their meeting and address the comprehensive plan at their meeting on October 1st. After their meeting, kicks in a 45-day public comment period. So on October 2nd, the Pennsylvania Municipal Planning Code requires us to send a letter to the county, and officially to the county, all contiguous municipalities, and the school district for any comment that they would have on the plan. And of course, the plan along with the letter. And then November 25th would be the Township Council public hearing on the plan, and then that night for consideration of the adoption of the plan. So that's our schedule for the public review and adoption process. And again, we will start rolling things out next week.
Thank you. Next item is opportunity for questions and comments from the public. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Just real quick, many people might have noticed this week out front of our building here in our front lawn area, we have a sign with some pinwheels out there. This is we had a mother, a resident in Horsham Township, whose son committed suicide, and she's now on the Montgomery County Suicide Prevention Task Force. And she asked us to participate in this outdoor display, which is in observance of the National Suicide Prevention Week, which runs September 8th through the 14th. And we agreed to participate in this. And it's comprised of the pinwheels and the sign to bring awareness to suicide and suicide prevention, and also in remembrance of 100 lives that have been lost in Montgomery County. And unfortunately, Horsham is not exempt from that. We had 6 suicides last year in Horsham, and we have 8 this year already without the year being closed out. So one is too many. And we want to bring awareness to this issue, and also remember those that unfortunately had, for whatever reason, committed suicide. So we also will be posting out a post tomorrow that there is help out there. There is help for people, and a lot more help than I believe has been out there in a long time. So we want people to be aware of what number to call, who to call, where to get help. So we're going to be posting out that. So again, we hope that this little display out here in front of our township building just raises awareness, and we provide information to those that might need to reach out and get help.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Next, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from our August 14th and 26th meetings?
I move to approve the minutes as presented. Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next will be the treasurer's report.
The balance in the general fund as of August 31st, 2024 is $7,996,004.61. For the most part, the activity in all funds reflects budget expectations for August, with revenues in the general fund at 95.23% of budget and expenditures at 62.19% of budget. For a more detailed presentation of our current financial position, I would refer you to your monthly booklet.
We have a motion to pay the bills.
I move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $576,092.56, and further move to authorize payment of same. I move to ratify the U.S. Bank credit card transactions for the month of August 2024 in the amount of $13,860.86.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next would be to review subdivision and land development plans. We have one this evening. Mary Boyle Weber, 1051 and 1053 West County Line Road. It's a lot line change.
You saw this actually for a zoning hearing board application. So they needed to get some variances from the zoning hearing board before they were in front of you for a review of this subdivision, which is basically a lot line change. So they were in front of the zoning hearing board. They did receive the decision in order and the variances that they needed to accomplish this lot line change. They also have received preliminary final recommended approval from the Township Planning Commission. They are in front of you tonight for a review of this lot line change. And Bob Jordan is here from Woodrow Associates to explain things and answer any questions.
Good evening. Again, like Bill said, this is a two-lot subdivision. It's a minor lot line change. The purpose of this lot line change was to retain the barn. Mary Boyle Weber wanted to retain the barn that her father had built several years ago associated with the property. The front portion of her brother's property is being sold. They went to the zoning hearing board. They got the necessary relief to move the property line. And this plan is before you tonight. We're asking for preliminary final approval of the minor subdivision plan. We have 3 waivers associated with the plan.
I'm sorry. Where were they, the waivers? Are
They were listed on the sheet. They were, the plan be considered preliminary final.
Oh, they're on the plan,
They're on the plan.
but there's no waiver letter.
No waiver.
All right, okay, what are the waivers?
Okay.
I have to do the resolutions, though.
Okay, I can most certainly provide one to you.
Mary, is your mic on?
I got it. Go ahead.
What-
Oh, I was listening.
Oh, okay. The second would be, there are 3 waivers associated with road improvements on County Line Road. One being for sidewalk, one being for curb, and the other being for road widening. We're seeking a waiver for those. And we're also seeking a waiver of the requirement to provide 400 feet of topography around the site. Again, given the minor nature of the application, we do not feel it's warranted.
What was the first one?
To consider the plan preliminary final.
Oh, okay.
Bill, is there any reason we shouldn't support the waivers?
No, and we actually discussed when they were here before for the zoning hearing board application, the sidewalks that at this location, it's rare that we do this, but at this location, and it's just a lot line change. There's no construction, there's no additional homes, it's a simple lot line change. And at that time, it was agreed that we would be okay with that waiver.
Do you have any more?
No, that's it.
Mary, do you have anything?
Yeah, before you leave, if you could just jot down the section numbers for those, that would be great.
I will.
Thanks.
Everybody okay to be neutral? All right, then, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So council, so the Webbers know too, so tonight was just a review. So the township solicitor will draft up the resolution for council to consider at their next meeting, which is the fourth Monday of September. And then you are done with Horsham Township. Other things to happen, but with Horsham Township, your approvals and coming to meetings and stuff will be over the fourth Monday when council considers the resolution for adoption, for approval.
Okay, then before we adjourn, I have some announcements. Horsham Restaurant Week is September the 15th through September the 21st. The Carpenter Cross Bike Race is Saturday, September 21st, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. in Deep Meadow Park. The Horsham Township E-Coven is Saturday, October 5th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At the Township Municipal Complex. It is tree giveaway, e-waste recycling, and shredding event. The next Horsham Township Council meeting will be on Monday, September the 23rd in this auditorium at 7 p.m. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Meeting adjourned.